We are back, guys. Now, we got Ryan's truck done and it's out of here. It's back in Andrews, cruising around. It's good. Now we can get some work done to this turd. Went ahead and took the hood off. But, quick rundown on this thing. It's a stock LT1 block, forged bottom end, GPI drop-in pistons, K-Tech ported heads, K-Tech ported heads, BTR CNC ported intake, A&A, V7 YSI, centrifugal supercharger. It's got the air-to-air intercooler. I get a lot of questions about these valve covers. These are the 2-high PSI valve covers. They're really nice. The only thing that these were designed pretty much to move the coil lower in the valve cover to clear the port plates. I didn't think about that when I ordered them, but it's kind of a pain to do spark plugs on it. But it's a Corvette. Everything's a pain to work on this thing. The plan is to pull the BTR Trinity intake and install a TIC Performance intercooled intake. Check it out. So here it is. This is the ultra low, which uses a Holley ultra low base and then their own machined like top cover. Instead of using the Holley, I guess the upper plenum, they machine their own and make it a little bit smaller or a little bit shorter, and it doesn't come out, all the way up here. So that's the plan for this. For now, I also have a Z06 radiator to put in because the Grand Sport, it doesn't really overheat, but in traffic and like stop and go, and I'm in West Texas, it's 100 degrees 80% of the time here, but it starts to get a little hot, and I figure it's a cheap upgrade. It's supposed to be the same as like the Z06 ZR1, but I got it right here. And I also have a new thermostat. Now this is an LS3 style thermostat because I'm also using a cast. This is the BTR outlet right here. The thermostat housing is BTR makes this, so it uses an LS3 style thermostat. So I got a 160 for that, and then I have the Z06 radiator. Next upgrade is going to be a DeWitt fan, but those things are pricey, and I already have a ton of money tied into this thing. But for now, I'm gonna do the air to water intercooler. I'm gonna have to cut the cowl to clear that, so we'll see. Might pop out of the hood, which honestly will probably look kind of cool. But yeah, and then I'm gonna have to redo all the intercooler piping. Right now it's got an air to air. I'll get the car up on the lift so we can pull the front bumper off, so we could do the radiator, and then take all the intercooler piping off, as well as the intercooler, which is right there. You can't really see it, but you know what I mean. It's right there. The reason why I'm doing this is because after about one pull or so, intake temps get above like 180, like in the 200s. I've seen it spike up like 215 at one time, and I don't want to melt my motor. So luckily I have the forged rods and pistons from GPI and a really good tuner. Shout out to GPI for that. Ryan, he's an animal. But yeah, let's start taking this stuff apart. I'll cover up the intake ports with some tape for now, and then we'll start to mock up that bad boy right there. Oh, for the intercooler tank, we'll talk about that in a bit. All right, we got pretty much everything pulled out now. I wanted to show you guys the difference between the stock Stingray and Grand Sport radiator and the Z06 and I guess ZR1. Look at that. That's extra fluid capacity. It's about a 2-inch core compared to 1.5 inches. Solid upgrade. The part number for this one is, and I got this from Rock Auto, right there, 845-24653. I think I paid about $400. It's not cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than the Witz radiator. I think it's like $1,000, $1,200, and then you still, well, you don't have to, but they also sell an upgraded fan. But yeah, there's that. And I think this one, yeah, these are brackets for, I want to say the heat exchanger, but we're not using that. I don't know. But we'll throw this in and then start working on, well, you know what? I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pull the intake, get this whole supercharger setup figured out. Once we get all that done, then we can throw the radiator back in and then get the hoses back in. And go from there. But yeah, let's start pulling the intake and start prepping the TIC Performance one for install. All right, we got the intake off. Now, the height difference on this thing is crazy. I'm gonna have to cut the crap out of the cowl. Look at that. Now the cowl on the Corvette was like right here, like right above this. That's a lot of meat I gotta chop off. So I'm gonna pull the intercooler off the base and then just mount the base in the car and then start kind of marking out where I'm gonna have to trim that cowl to fit all this junk. Exciting stuff. Let's get it. All right, update on the radiator. So far, the only thing I had to move over was these two clips on both sides. And then I also have a bypass for the secondary, I guess a radiator. It had that little small one over there, stock. That was, I guess, GM's fix before 2019. But yeah, this radiator is from the 2019 C7 Z06 or ZR1. But I transferred this over, the little bottom mounts, and then these two clips. So let's see if it fits. And there you go, it's in. It fits really nice. So honestly, it was pretty easy. The hardest part of this whole thing is probably getting the condenser back in those little tabs right there. But because the condenser is held on by this hard line, so it doesn't have a whole lot of play on this side. So you gotta like pull the radiator over, pick it up, and then slide it in. It's, if you do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's kind of a pain, but once you get it all back in, you gotta get it inside this plastic. It's in there real nice. Mucho bueno. Well, that's as far as we got. Found out my Rife air intake temp sensor doesn't clear the firewall, so I gotta order another one. Sweet. Anyway, I'm gonna have to end up putting it, because I was trying to get it in the back end of the intake since, you know, the chargers, most of it's pushing them back. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end up popping it right here. So, I mean, it should work. But yeah, that's what we got so far. And I'm definitely gonna have to cut the hood, but it's gonna look sweet. The only thing that's gonna be tricky is I'm gonna have to clock the supercharger in a way that we can get it around and into this throttle body. Now I would have gone with a polished throttle body, but I'm broke. All my money went into this thing. So there's that. But yeah, that's as far as we're getting today. I ordered the sensor. I still need to bolt down the manifold and all that, but I'm gonna wait so I can weld the bung onto the intake to put the sensor in it. So I got the brake line made up, the map sensor is already in there. I just need to put the fuel rails on, and then I'm gonna fab a water tank. Corvettes, if you don't have a Corvette, you'll find out the hard way when you get one that they are taxed like crazy. It's a small water tank that fits like right here, $700. A trunk mounted inner tank for the Corvette, not the universals, the one that goes in the little cubby in the back or whatever. It looks super nice. That's like $2 grand. So I'm gonna make one. But yeah, making some progress on this thing is gonna be sick. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Jesus loves you. Peace.